All right, the recording has started. Welcome back, everyone, to AM Sports. I'm Martin Foster, and today joining me on the show is a writer from Bill Simmons' new digital venture from the newsletter The Ringer, writer Jonathan Tjarks. Jonathan, how's it going, man?
It's good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for joining the show. I've always been a fan of Bill Simmons and his time at Grantland, and I know he has the new venture with Ringer, and that's how I came across some of your articles, and I was like, man, you really write some good stuff, and that's what I want to talk about today. Prior to working at The Ringer, you had first, what's your background? What's a little bit about that?
I was working in journalism in college, and I was like writing blogs back in like 2008, 2009. After college, I'm kind of working just random jobs.
Yeah,
I kept blogging. I eventually got picked up by a few bigger websites. And I was just a freelance writer for about 5-6 years until they hired me at The Ringer, I guess, in March. So just freelance writing.
So I really liked it kind of seems like the pattern of basketball, like you had a little bit of a cult following. What really kind of got you, I know you said you were a freelance writer, but what really got you starting to do your own permanent blog with pattern of basketball?
Well, actually, it was more as I realized, I was spending all this time on social media, like tweeting and being on Facebook. I was like, this is not that productive use of my time, really. Because you tweet something and it goes out and it's gone forever. And I was like, instead of being on Twitter all day, when I'm not writing, I can just write a blog. And that's permanent. God, sorry, my dog is in the camera shot.
No, that's fine.
Come on, Hudson. Yeah, so instead of doing that, I was like, well, maybe I'll spend an hour, 2 hours a day writing. I'll put on this blog and see where that goes. I did that for about 2 years, and I got where I am today.
Yeah, and it seemed like you had a pretty good following and a lot of good pieces on there. How did you get hired at The Ringer? Because that seems like to me that seems like that'd be kind of an interesting little story.
There's nothing too. I think they were just they were looking for talent, looking for writers. They've hired probably 30, 35 writers in the last few months. So
yeah,
maybe 25. And so they were just looking around. I guess my name came up. There was a long interview process. And I got the job. I don't know. My editor took more than I could, honestly.
Yeah. So, and currently you're living in Texas, right?
Yeah.
Are you okay? So, are you a Mavs or Rockets fan?
Oh, Mavs for sure. Dallas.
Okay, Mavs. Yeah. So there might be. I'm actually okay. I'm a big OKC Thunder fan. So I don't know if there's a little bit of a resentment.
The Mavs, they were going nowhere fast. They weren't doing anything this season, anyways.
One of my favorite recent championships teams though was that 2011 Mavs team because. Yeah. Nobody was going to beat that team the way that team was shooting. So talking about your writing with The Ringer, and again, that's how I took notice of you, is by following that newsletter. One of my favorite articles that you wrote, especially since, of course, I am a Thunder fan, is the one, The Twilight of the OKC Thunder. Many have speculated that this is going to be Durant's last season in OKC. Do you think this deep playoff run and really a potential chance at going to the finals is going to change that?
It's kind of hard to say, obviously. I don't know what's in his heart. We're all just speculating. He keeps things pretty close to his chest, it seems like, for the most part, this kind of stuff. But I imagine that the deeper they go to the playoffs, the more likely he is to resign the team. That just seems logical to me. All these NBA players, he can sit up and get the most money. So it becomes, will this team be good enough to go deep in the playoffs every year? And I think that was a big question coming into this postseason. Whether the Spurs and the Warriors kind of pass Thunder by, whether he would even leave to compete for a championship. And that's pretty clearly now they haven't passed Thunder by. And they're at least just as good as those teams. So why leave a good situation? That's my guess anyways.
Yeah, it's hard to find another player in the league like Russell Westbrook. He brings
for sure.
a totally different dynamic to the league. You talked about the Spurs. I think all season long, it was just assumed that the Spurs and the Golden State Warriors were on a collision course for the Western Conference Finals. Do you think the league and the overall fans of the league of the NBA are kind of disappointed that it's not the Spurs and the Warriors?
I don't think so because, for as great as the Spurs are, they've never had much mainstream appeal. They don't play the most exciting. They play a very aesthetically pleasing brand of basketball, but it's not the most star-heavy brand of basketball. Yeah. I think the league loves Thunder Warriors. They love KD and Russ for Steph. I think that is what the league really wants. So in that sense, I don't think so. And I think it's easier to sell that series anyway in terms of rivalries, that kind of stuff, young players.
For everyone watching, this is AM Sports with Alex and Martin. However, Alex is currently not with me today, so I'm riding solo. I'm speaking with Jonathan Tjarks from The Ringer, our sports newsletter from Bill Simmons' new digital venture. All right, Jonathan. So we hear a lot about Golden State's lineup of death, where it's a smaller lineup with where they put Iguodala and Draymond Green at the 5, and we see that now with Cleveland. Granted, they lost a Game 3 against Toronto, but do you feel like that's kind of been like the missing piece for the Cavaliers when now they've started implementing that a little bit with Channing Frye and LeBron James, and that those are their two bigs and their version of the lineup of death. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, it's definitely hard to stop that lineup because Frye is he's such a great shooter.
Yeah.
He creates so much space for LeBron in the paint. The question is going to be, can that lineup defend? And we haven't really seen a great test of that yet because the East, those teams haven't really stepped up. Toronto Purdue on Game 3. But I think that's the question in the NBA Finals, whether that LeBron, Frye lineup can they defend at a high level. Because what made the Warriors up so good is they could defend and score at a high level on both sides of the ball. We got to see what this Cleveland lineup, how they're going to be able to defend.
Were you able to catch Game 3 yesterday between Golden State and Oklahoma City?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I was I was going crazy. I love the game. Oklahoma City won handily. What do you think is going to happen with Draymond Green? What do you think about that kick to Steven Adams?
Oh man, I mean, it's hard. My guess he'll get suspended. I guess by the time this comes out, we'll know for sure. I mean, I feel like even his best defense that he was selling a call, so it's already against the rules. So even if it wasn't intentional, he was trying to sell a call and ended up kicking a guy right in the nuts. Like, it's very reckless. At the minimum, like, you look at Game 2, the first time he hit Adams in the nuts. Then, after he does it, he starts talking trash to Adams. Like, for me, if I was some guy in the nuts, I'm going to be apologetic, right? I'm going to be contrite. But playing basketball, it's not, it's not a boxing match. Even though that's for the boxing. But, like, for Draymond to be, like, so aggressive and yelling after he does that, that tells me he's playing very reckless. And that even if it's not intentional, he's pushing the line so far that guys could get hurt by the way he plays. I don't think that's great for the league. I think they should put a foot down on this. So we'll see, of course. Yeah,
and I think the league office will take a look at his recent behavior too, and it seems like he's already been causing some trouble so far in this conference finals.
Yeah, it's like I think I was like a Chappelle show base. Like Draymond's a habitual line stepper. He's always walking right up to the line and cross it.
And this is coming right after a day after the Dante Jones, right after his Game 3 incident in Eastern Conference Finals. I think a lot of fans and just people around the league are just kind of looking at that like, hey, if Dante Jones, granted it was a punch to the head, but if he was suspended for a game, then what's going to happen to Draymond Green? And of course, Draymond Green is a bigger part for his team versus Dante Jones. So if he's suspended for Game 4, that'll certainly affect the series. So we'll see with that. So overall, like we've been talking about Golden State and Oklahoma City. Like, what are your thoughts overall on the series? Because I think a lot of people just thought that that Golden State was just going to just steamroll Oklahoma City, and a lot of people predicted a sweep. And then after Oklahoma City won Game 1, they was like, well, Golden State won in 5. Now that OKC's up 2-1, and after what happened yesterday in that thrashing, what are your thoughts on the overall series?
Well, I mean, clearly OKC is more competitive than we thought coming into it. That's pretty clear at this point. And I think the big thing in Game 3, more than the Draymond's nut chop, it was the fact that they can match the Golden State's like small ball lineup by going Bach at 5, KD at 4, and they really took the game right at the Warriors. And that was always the Warriors' trump card, is playing Draymond at the 5. So if the Thunder can match that lineup with their smaller lineup, then they've got a pretty decent chance of winning the series. I think the main thing for them is just to win their home games. They've already got one Oracle. It'll be tough to seal 2 games probably. So if they can just win Game 3, 4, and 6, I think we're seeing also just the importance of home court from 2 to 3. Like, it's a very big factor in these series. Yeah. So you want to catch your home court for sure. That changes everything.
It seems like the NBA's it's definitely in a transition. In the 90s and even, prior to this era, it was big man dominated. It was definitely you have to have the big center kind of a slower game. You see this small ball now. Do you like the way or this trend that's happened in NBA now? And do you think it's basically the wave of the future for the league?
Yes and no. I mean, I think spreading the floor, isolating guys one-on-one, and moving the ball is the way of the league. Pick and roll, too. But I think you look at, like, even with the Cavs with LeBron at the 4-5, like a big guy at the front of the rim can still dominate. He's actually the right kind of big man. I think you look at Karl Towns in Minnesota, he might be kind of the way back. So, like, even no longer the big, like, 7 foot, 300-pound low post guy, a 7-foot guy who can play on the perimeter and go one-on-one and create, he'll still be very, very valuable. And I think it'll be like medium. I would say medium ball is the way of the league, not so much small or big ball. Medium ball.
Who are some of your favorite players to watch right now in the league?
Oh, I mean, I like all the I'm actually I love Karl Towns. He's probably my favorite player to watch in college in a long time. He's a complete big man. Does everything really, really well. High character guy, high energy guy. I don't know. Like, I think just in general, I guess Towns is probably my favorite player in the league right now.
I know you're a Mavs fan, but I see you wearing a University of Texas hoodie. Do you like Kevin Durant at all? Are you a big KD fan?
I was a student at UT when he was down there, so.
Oh wow!
I got to watch him from the ground floor. It was pretty fun to watch that. He was just so dominant in the college level. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, I can remember him having like 30-point, 20-rebound games or 15-rebound games. And this is in college as a freshman. He was just dominated. What was that environment like in Austin that season that KD attended?
Well, it was weird because, like, UT's not a basketball school, really.
Right.
So, like, the first 2 or 3 months, no one was going to the games, wasn't being talked about very much. It was, like a hidden secret. It wasn't really until the Big 12 season, until, like, January or February, that people started going to the games, and it became, like, a phenomenon, which it wasn't the last month of the season. But it was a very slow build.
Yeah. Before I cut you loose, we got the draft coming up. We saw that Philly's going to get the number 1 pick. What do you think they're going to do? Are they going to draft another big man or possibly even try to trade that pick?
I don't think they'll trade it. If you're the number 1 pick, usually the best value is you taking a player there.
Yeah.
My guess is, if I had to guess, it's tough. It'll be Ingram or Simmons. My guess is they'll go Simmons because he's the highest upside player, but It'll be a close call for them for sure because Ingram's a much better for the rest of their roster.
You've written a lot of cool articles for the Ringer. Do you have any ones that are your favorite or just that kind of stand out that you think is your best work?
Just my latest, I guess. Yeah, check it out. It's on. I have a thing up today about Thunder, about Sam Presti, and kind of like reevaluating all his moves he's made on Facebook.
Yeah.
Check that out today. Sure. Go to my latest one. Give me some clicks.
I'm glad you said that because I think Bill Simmons and I have one thing in common, even though I've never met him. And I know you don't work in LA, like you're geographically separated, but I still have a hard time with the whole James Harden trade. And everyone tells me I just need to get over it. And I think, and for me, it's actually starting to come to fruition because the Thunder, obviously, they're doing well without him. But seeing some of the development of their young players and actually even Steven Adams, because that's who the number 12 pick ended up being. What are your thoughts on the James Harden trade? And do you think that's going to haunt the Thunder forever?
Well, I think, as you just said, the development of Steven Adams, at least that, even you look at it that way, you got a two-way center. Just from a skill set perspective, Adams fits better with Durant and Westbrook than Harden because Adams can be effective without dominating the ball, whereas Harden really couldn't. So I think, from a talent perspective, from a timing perspective, maybe it wasn't the best trade, but all's well that ends well. We'll see what happens. I think that's the thing. If you win a championship, all is forgiven. Like I said, as a Mavs fan, the Mavs have made mistakes over the years. They had Dirk for 15 years to win a championship. When you win one, all is forgiven. When you don't, everything is brought up over and over and over. So it's just one of those things. It's done in the past. They have the pieces to win now. If they win now, it's all good. If they don't, we'll always be talking about it.
How much longer do you think Dirk's going to be in the league?
From what I've heard, he wants to play at least till he's 40, so that's 2 more years. But my guess is he'll play as long as he can, because why not? As long as he can play at a high level. And I think it's going to be a year-by-year deal for him until he decides to quit.
And Dallas, to me, has a good team. They just battle some injuries, especially heading into the playoffs. They have some good young pieces. And last offseason when they signed Wesley Matthews, I'm not even a Mavs fan, but I was scared. I was like, man, they're going to have him, Chandler Parsons. Like, on paper, it looked like a pretty solid team. But unfortunately, the injury bug caught up with
Well, I mean, if you're a Thunder fan, I wouldn't be worried too much about it. I think the Mavs' best case scenario, they might win one playoff series next year if all the pieces go to play. I mean, they're just not caught up in it anymore, which is fine. They're a decent team. They're kind of treading water, but nothing wrong with that, winning 45 games a year. It's not the worst thing in the world, that's for sure.
Yeah. Hey, if people want to read more articles and learn more about you, where can they find you?
Just go to theringer.com, sign up for our newsletter, and check out our Facebook page at The Ringer. We're posting stuff all the time.
Yeah.
We're getting ready for the site to go live pretty soon, so definitely keep your eye out for that.
Cool. Again, this is AIM Sports. Thank you so much, Jonathan Tjarks, for joining the show today just to talk. I know it was a quick interview. Yeah, it was.
That's good.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. And May is actually Armed Forces Appreciation Month, so you're showing your support right now for the military by doing my show. So
no problem, man. Have a good one.
Thanks. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, you can check us out. Our website, aimsportsguys.com. You can follow us on Twitter at aimsportsguys, and you can watch a replay of this video. Just go to YouTube and search for AIM Sports Alex and Martin. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Take care.